Matamu tu.
We are back with Matamu Extra. It's your boy Rumak, and going straight to the point, let's have a bit of a discussion about a bean-related fairy tale. I know you've heard of this one before, but the most famous bean-related fairy tale is the one of Jack and the Beanstalk. It's an old English fairy tale whose most commonly retold version was published in 1890 by the writer Joseph Jacobs. Now, in this tale, the son of a poor family, Jack, trades the family cow at the market for a handful of magic beans. When he gets home, the beans get cast out the window in what can be termed as a fit of rage, and the family wakes up the next morning to an enormous beanstalk that has grown up into the clouds from where the beans were thrown. Now, Jack climbs the beanstalk, finds himself in the castle of an unfriendly giant, and the famous cry, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman," makes an appearance at this point as the giant senses Jack's presence. Now, Jack outwits the giant and retrieves a lot of valuable items previously stolen from the family, including a bag of gold, a goose that lays golden eggs, and a magic golden harp that plays and sings by itself. Jack then escapes by chopping down the beanstalk, and the giant, who is pursuing him at this point, falls to his death as the beanstalk falls. Jack and his family, of course, live happily ever after. Now, that fairy tale stuck with me from my childhood because it was such a tall tale, like literally. When I finally learned how tall beanstalks really grow, my dreams of finding an enormous beanstalk to climb on and get to a giant's castle to look for treasure, they all fell faster than the giant fell out of that beanstalk when Jack carried down in the story. Now, climbing beans actually can grow rather tall. However, they rely on whatever they're climbing on to provide the support they need to keep standing. Right now, the world record for the tallest beanstalk is at 14.1 meters, and it's held by an American. Now, did you ever dream like me about climbing a beanstalk and going to find treasure? Leave me a comment about your treasure hunting dreams on my social media. That is at Rumak on all platforms. Now, Matamu Extra is all about you, dear listener, and in today's segment, we have a voice note from a listener called Ivy.
This week's podcast on beans was enlightening and funny at the same time. I resonate and relate to what Anita, who is quite a soft-spoken lady, talks about the foul smell of beans after some hours of it being enclosed in a container. It reeks. My all-time favorite way of making beans is adding a cup of coconut milk to it. It tastes different and very scrumptious. And even though Pythagoras spent his idle time away from coming up with theories about triangles that I'm about to start doubting, looked for reasons to hate beans, I'll still love beans.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts about the episode, Ivy. I share your love for beans in a rich coconut sauce. It is my first meal whenever I hit the coast, especially if I can find it with some hot chapos. The end. Now, if you'd like to have your thoughts played out on the Matamu Extra segment, you will find the email address to send a voice note to on the show notes of this segment. As always, you can write me a message at Rumak on all social media platforms, and I'll read out your message on the next Matamu Extra. And that's it for this segment. On the next episode of Matamu 2, we will discuss uji. Or should I call it porridge? I don't know. I think I'll have the right name by the next episode. Till then, stay classy, folks.
Matamu tu.